So what's the difference in having an on-the-job injury and having an off-the-job injury? Yeah, is there a difference between getting injured on the job or off the job, off duty? There are some differences, and I found out this last week what some of them are. Back in 2009, I had an off-the-job injury. I was riding my motorcycle home from work, and to make a long story kind of short, car kind of came in off the highway in front of me and was going really slow. I was checking the other lane to get over. When I looked back, they were right there in front of me, and I didn't have enough time to get slowed down before I tagged them in the rear bumper. I don't think they even felt it because they kept going. And anyway, I didn't lay it all the way down. I did not lay it down. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because what I did was I stuck my left leg out and that popped me back up. So I didn't have any road rash, didn't tear the bike up, too bad. But what I did have was a torn ACL in my left leg. And talking about the people going, when the police got there, they called it a hit and run because they didn't stay. So never did find them though, didn't get any kind of compensation out of them for that. But torn ACL, off the job injury, 3 months off, surgery, therapy, all the back to work checkups, all that stuff, 3 months off. That fell under short-term disability. Now it's they pay for your short-term disability, and which is good, I guess, but it doesn't pay all that great, and I have a feeling that's probably common at most places. Short-term disability. I didn't have to stay out long enough to find out what the long-term disability was, which I pay for, but didn't have to use that. 3 months off. No way, you cannot do light duty if you're on short-term disability. It doesn't kick in. So I found out about on duty this last week. Last Wednesday night, when you come into Dallas and you have a Dallas trailer in the lead, you call on the intercom thingamajiggy and they tell you if they want it up to the dock or not, and they did on this one. So I put it in the door that they wanted, right? Drop my rear, drop my dolly, put it up in the door that they wanted, and it was dark. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I was on the far end of the dock down there where they wanted it, and it was probably a little darker down there. And when I stepped down out of the truck, there's a piece of concrete where it's uneven, the seams in the concrete. One part was higher than the other. When I stepped down on that spot right outside the door of the truck, rolled my foot over, and I thought I broke my ankle. That's what it felt like. I was stumbling around out there in the yard, nobody saw it. Stumbled out there in the yard for a while and I thought it was broken, but after stumbling around, it didn't feel broke. My ankle felt fine, but I think I felt like I pulled something in the outside of my left foot. So I thought, well, I'm clumsy. I tumbled around. Didn't think it was too bad. My ankle was fine. So let's see how it feels after we get the rest of this stuff done. So I got the trailer dropped, went over and got my fuel. My ankle's fine. I could walk on it just fine, but it was getting tight in my boot on the left side of my foot, and I could feel it getting sore and more sore as I went on. So I figured, you get cuts and bruises all the time. You do these kind of things. If you reported everything that happened, everybody'd be off duty all the time, off on injury. So I thought I'd get my fuel, wash my windows, park the truck, then I'll take my boot off and see what it looks like. Well, I got over to where I parked the truck, took the boot off, and I'll show you a little picture. This is what it looked like when I took my boot off. You can tell it's bruised on that left side and starting to swell up a little bit. So I thought, well, I don't know, didn't feel that bad. Should I report it? Should I not? I know if I reported it, I'd be off for at least a couple days. But I did not want to take the chance of not reporting it, and then wake up the next day and not be able to walk. Then there'd be a lot of questions on why didn't you report it last night, and that could cause all sorts of problems. So I walked into the office, reported it. They got the dock supervisor who is in charge of all that kind of stuff. Filled out all the paperwork for about an hour and a half after they found it. Called safety, said go to an ER. It's almost midnight. The dock in the box that we use at our company, none of those were open. So I went to the ER at a hospital. It's a new hospital down by my house. And maybe because it's new or maybe because it was midnight, I was the only one in the ER that night. So they checked it out. This is what it looked like in the ER by the time I got down there. The lighting's a little different, but still swelling up, kind of turning purple from broken blood vessels. And so they x-rayed it, x-rayed the ankle and my foot, nothing broken. They said I should be able to go back to work the next couple days. Well, since it happened on the job, this is where workman's comp comes into play. So I got to go back to our regular dock in the box that we use for occupational injuries and have them check it out. So they check it out. I'm gonna take more x-rays, and this is on Thursday. So I'm off Thursday. They check it out. They say, you're good to do light duty for a couple days and come back on Monday and we'll reassess it and see if you can go back to work. So Thursday's blown because I'm in the dock, right, in the medical center getting checked out. So I'm good to do light duty on Friday and Saturday, since my regular schedule is Saturday too. So you only can do 4 hours a day on light duty. So I spent Friday filing manifests and bills for the lady who does all that and helping her out with that stuff and doing some training that I had to do. Saturday there wasn't really much to do, so I sat in there and in the dispatch office and stared at him for 4 hours. I helped with some phones and some other little things, but so I went back Monday, which is my normal day off, so wouldn't have got paid for that anyway. They reassessed it. I said, I feel great. Let's go back to work. So cleared me to go back to work Tuesday. So I missed 3 days, but I found out something else on workman's comp. If you're not out, at least in Texas, if you're not out over 7 days, you get a bare minimum of pay. They don't go back and pay you your normal pay till after you're out for 7 days. That's fine. Only missed 3 days. I got a minimal pay for the light duty. But the funny thing about my foot is, it feels pretty good. It's still sore to the touch. My boot fits fine. I walk fine. But the longer it goes from the injury, the better it feels and the worse it looks. I'll tell you this, I took this picture this morning. It's funny how gravity works and all the broken blood vessels, the blood goes down into your feet. So it looks way worse today, but feels pretty good. So that's the difference in on the job and off the job injuries from my experience. Tell me what you've experienced if you've had to take it. If not, try not to. It's a pain in the butt either way. Okay, so go down in the description, check out my links. Check out the SIA employment site if you're interested in coming to SIA. Click on that, fill out the application, email me, I'll send you my info so you can put me down as a referral. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the alarm bell notification to get notified of all the videos. Like this video for me, that'll help me out. And we'll see you later.